Families have a lot going on. Let Ollie help manage the mental load with new cognitive help supplements for everyone 4 and up, like delicious Lolly Focus Pops or Lolly Mellow Pops for kids. And for parents, try 3 new Brainy Chews to help you focus, chill out, or get energized. Find these cognitive health buddies for the whole fam at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Making everyone happy on vacation isn't easy, but you know what is? Going to Aruba. All you have to do is walk out your door to find pristine pools, relaxing white sand beaches, and an island teeming with outdoor activities that'll put a smile on any face. You won't just feel great, you'll all feel great, filled with a calmer, more peaceful vibe that radiates Aruba's warmth. And the best part is, it never fades. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your family trip at Aruba.com.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 2138. A Broken Heart is an Open Heart, by Jamie Greenwood with tinybuddha.com. Hello, everybody, and thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Optimal Relationships Daily with me, your host and narrator, Greg Audino. It's great to have you here for another episode today, in which we will hear about how a broken heart actually prepares us for a better love than we had before. So let's get into the post now and optimize your life. A Broken Heart is an Open Heart, by Jamie Greenwood with tinybuddha.com. Quote, "A broken heart is not the same as sadness. Sadness occurs when the heart is stone cold and lifeless. On the contrary, there is an unbelievable amount of vitality in a broken heart." That's by Elizabeth Lesser. "I love you, but I'm not in love with you," was the line my first boyfriend used when he broke up with me. I was 22. We were only together 6 months, but I cried over him for a solid year, thinking a few parallel thoughts. If I were thinner and prettier, he would have been in love with me. How could he not be in love with me? I'm hilarious. And I'm never doing this love thing again. It hurts way too much. Even letting myself fall in love was a big deal. I'd always kept people at a distance, friends and family included, because I didn't want to be that vulnerable, and I didn't want to feel that much. Letting people in meant they might see things that they didn't like, or see the things about me that I didn't like. Being that open left way too much up to chance. I much preferred to control the situation. And so, when I let myself fall in love for the first time, I did it with strong boundaries drawn. I monitored the nice things I did for him to make sure I wasn't going overboard. I checked in with myself frequently to make sure I wasn't losing myself, and was careful not to give him too many compliments. At the time, I thought my approach was very mature. I wasn't going to be one of those girls who loses her mind and goes gaga for some undeserving dude. I would let myself love him, just not too much. Looking back now, I was in full-blown defensive mode, driven by a deep need to protect my heart from any harm. I'm a mighty deep feeler, and like most humans, quite a sensitive soul. So loving someone just felt like way too much feeling for my delicate system to handle. A few years later, I met my now ex-husband. He was kind and generous, and as my grandmother said, he felt like an old shoe. And so again, I let myself fall in love. A logical, rational, we make sense together kind of love. I was better with the compliments, and did my best to love him through the little things. A home-cooked meal, a hug and a kiss every night when he walked in the door, a risotto tartlet from the farmer's market to show I was thinking about him. And yet, I didn't let him in. I chose him because he was safe to love. I chose him because he would never ask for my whole heart, for my fullest capacity to love. He had no need to see the deeper, darker parts of me that were desperately seeking light, and I had zero interest in showing him. At the time, I really thought I loved him as much as I could. And I did for the time and place we shared together. I loved him more than I had ever loved anyone, which felt enormous and vulnerable. I'd often have this recurring nightmare where something would happen to him, and I'd be left all alone, bereft and broken. I was terrified by the dream. Scared out of my mind, not by the thought of losing him, but by having to feel bereft and broken. And then, one day, he left. And my heart, for the first time in my life, broke open, and all I could do was feel. In the weeks and months following our separation, my heartbreak brought me face to face with more pain and more love than I had ever known. At times, I thought I might break under the strain of their combined weight. While shedding horizontal tears that ricocheted off my glasses and ran down my face, as I watched my marriage and home crumble before me, I was able to muster more love for myself and for my pain than I ever could have, for either of us, during our marriage. When he left, the wall around my heart came tumbling down. The ice melted off the inner chambers of my soul. The doors to my ability to love swung open, inviting me to feel into those tender places so long ignored. It's true. I did not love my ex-husband to my fullest capacity, because up until my heart broke open, I could not love myself to such capacity. I was too busy protecting myself from my pain, my needs, his pain, his needs, that I walked right past the love that is possible between two people when they open their hearts to one another. Know this: a broken heart is an open heart. It is in the breaking, when our hearts are peeled back on themselves, that our truths have passage to come in and out. If we're lucky, our hearts will break over and over again to reveal new ways of being, of thinking, and of loving. Each break allows our hearts to heal bigger than the time before. Yes, there is pain every time we're cracked open, immeasurable pain. And with each break, each sting of pain, our hearts are able to expand and strengthen our capacity to love. You just listened to the post titled, "A Broken Heart is an Open Heart" by Jamie Greenwood with tinybuddha.com, and I'll be back with my comments right after this. Picture a wardrobe upgrade with quality essentials at an unbeatable price. Quince has you covered with timeless pieces that never go out of style. You'll have them in your closet forever. Quince has all the must-haves, like Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow-knit activewear. And all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. That's because by partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And most importantly, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. And as for me, I love Quince's versatility too. They have great home items as well as clothes, and I've been really happy with the bedding that I bought from them. When you look at it and you feel the material, you can tell easily that it's of high quality. So indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/ORD for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/ORD to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ORD.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Okay, and thank you so much to Jamie for this post. I think it's certainly one to keep in mind, whether your heart has been broken because of lost love, or maybe a lost job, a lost friend, or even a tough move. Yeah, these principles discussed today exist everywhere in our lives. And if you have a hard time seeing that or applying some of what Jamie had to say, I recommend reflecting on something that broke your heart. Could be any of the scenarios I mentioned, or it could be something else. Could be something from the past or the present. Reflect on everything you learned about yourself or are learning about yourself from that process. Which wounds opened up for you? What might you have wanted to do differently? What Jamie is trying to say is that if we can answer these questions for ourselves, we can bring more intentionality to our next love. We can love better when we know more about what we need and more about how to give. We can create deeper connections as we learn to love in a new way that better reflects who we are. This allows us to be more present with the next objects of our affection. We might communicate better with our next partner, if we reflect on how poor the communication was with the one who broke our heart. We might learn to come up with more creative ideas at our next job if the job we last had got boring over time and we stopped challenging ourselves. We might be more engaged in the community of the new place we moved to if we miss our friends and family that live in the place we just left. You get the idea. But with that, it is time to get going, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in today and doing right by your relationships by doing so. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.